third year art student soon. Please send help. Let's start with first sem, shall we? At design. Here is one of my plates that I have filmed for YouTube. This one, sketches. It's about Burger King. Also this, yep, Domino's Pizza. This one is about IKEA makeup brand, which is MAC. My studies for MAC, and this one is for Tide. But also, I made this one for the first plate. And then this is for the Burger King. Kinain to ng ipis, so that sucks. And this one is for Domino's Pizza. This is for MAC. For Tide. Oh, that's for next sem. Rapah taught me a slice of ethics, history, and present times of advertising, and also some applications in real life. So in here, we changed the poster to make it more appropriate for the audience. We also made some Christmas jingle, and I made some of the lyrics because why not? For art appreciation, I really love this subject. To understood art better, like to appreciate it and to see its value for me and for other persons as well. Like, it tackles some philosophy of art. The most memorable lesson for me is when we valued artworks on how much they cost. Some of the most expensive top 10 artworks in the world is from Picasso, in which he drew different sorts of figures. It made us really question what actually is art. In art history, we tackled Photoshop and how do we use them. Also reminded me of the Filipino artists on how they can be an inspiration to us, upcoming artists. For design theory, it taught me how to make things simple and yet full of meaning. We achieve a specific style. We simplify our thoughts and ideas, like just squares and just rectangles. It should also tell a story. It should tell much about the album or possibly a book cover. So everything in design theory is I also enjoyed a lot because our professor is quite handy with everything. And in design workshop, it taught me how to be better at Photoshop. I was actually struggling a lot on Photoshop because it's a brand new tool. I taught myself how to do this and that and how to just maneuver around it. It is almost the same as just paint, but better. I thoroughly enjoyed this design workshop even though the instructions or the art prompts weren't that much interesting for me, but I enjoyed drawing on Photoshop. I was mostly intimidated on the specific course because whenever I look all of the buttons, I panic. I still have more learning to go, which also excites me through my third year. Illustration really taught me how to be precise, to spark the interest on my perspective. You also need to be specific about the instructions because our professor is really strict on that, but it also gives some room for creativity. I was so overwhelmed with the instructions that I forgot how to be creative, but I still enjoyed making the plates for this course, especially the animation one. The first few seconds were really amazing. I even appealed it on my professor and told him that I want to make the background static and the characters moving. So I basically cut the characters out of the page and pasted them one by one, each frame, on the background so that it can look static, just like how animations really look on TV, may it be 3D or 2D. And I also enjoyed a lot on character designs of the characters because they are a family. The connection of it is just captivating to me. Photography taught me that I can take loads of pictures, hundreds of them, but still accept that 99 of them can be bad photos, but I can appreciate the good one. In terms of improvement, I think photography is a struggle for me because many people around me told me that my photos aren't good, they really look bad, but I think that this course has sparked something in me that I really wanted to pursue in a long time because I like taking pictures. Well, not for people, but mostly for nature, for just the skies. The last two plates that I had on photography, I was really bummed out with the grades because very low. I struggled on the terms that photography is like not really for me. But in photography too, I learned a little something from myself there. Let's proceed to second sem. For ad design first, ad design 2. There are like 3 activities for ad design. How to think more critically, learn about brand design more, like the brand itself. I explore different topics, different approaches for the brand design, especially with Donuts, which is the brand that we are assigned to for the class. What I mostly enjoyed here in ad design is not about making the plates, but it's about streaming them here at my YouTube because I just love interacting with my subscribers. Streaming makes me motivated. All throughout the stream, I really want to finish it, and it also took guts from me that I have to show this art publicly. We also have a research in AdPrac. My groupmates were okay. I feel like I could have been a better leader, but I suppose that 1 month of research wasn't enough for us. But I also enjoyed AdPrac because I really love interacting with them. In advanced illustration, it was really fun to navigate through Photoshop more, but also to learn how to do 3D. I wasn't really good with 3D dioramas and air dry sculpture. I think those are one of the plates that I really like to destroy. Until now, I'm still contemplating over the fact that it sucks and I want to destroy it, but I don't think I can yet. So it serves as a reminder for me that not everything in arts, like not every field of arts is that I can master or probably I can get into. So it is okay for me that the sculpture didn't look pretty good. It really sucked big time. But in the 4th quarter, I really enjoyed drawing Valorant characters. I think it was a nice change of pace because we were doing 3D for like a quarter. It was partly tricky to think about the studies because we have 2 professors here. It actually made me more anxious because it was my first time to have 2 profs at the same subject. They don't have good chemistry. I suppose that's just me, but I somehow learned from both of them, maybe just not enough. Like for me, maybe their teaching styles together weren't the best. I really love how I did my animation and my background design. Like it all fits together and it still has the same vibes in Valorant, so I'm pretty much happy with that because I really love that game. For DWS, which is Design Workshop, 2, let's just say it was really interesting to learn Illustrator. At first, it was Photoshop, and then now Illustrator. When I was maneuvering around Illustrator, it is so similar to PowerPoint. It was different than Photoshop for sure because of the limited options in using the brushes, and it is way more clean to do vectorized illustrations. What I really enjoyed in Illustrator is we had the opportunity to learn a new software again, a new program. I was actually interested on doing logos because of this subject. Most of my drawings here weren't quite bad. It could be better, but what I really enjoyed most probably is the comics one where I drew Strange and Wanda fighting. For production methods, it is like the materials of second year. In materials 1 and 2, we learned how to play with materials, like different things. I showed them last year, and it feels meditative in a way that when I'm doing plates for production methods, it is just so calming and soothing. It is the subject mostly captured. Production methods is mostly captured for the rest of my sem because it was really soothing to just carve away even though it hurts. For my hands, like a chill course where our professor was really good to us. Like, she gives good feedback even fast. I think that is what I mostly enjoyed here because I do not only get to share my process with you guys, but also interact with my professor. She's just genuinely good. My favorite in here, probably the finals, because we tackled about different textures. It really set me loose because I did not let the materials take over me, but I let the materials just be. I do not control their texture and I do not control the paint. I just went through it. Also kinda reminds me of childhood and how a child artist just draws using hands, use brushes or just some sticks or just plastic and art away, which is really fun. And lastly, photography was interesting because as I said before that my photography 1 finals and the last plate behind that was really low. But in here, I found a way to express art through photography, and that is what I really love the most in this. Especially learning different styles of photography, like it can be about the story or just be the aesthetics or just overall the composition of the picture itself, in which I actually struggled before, but when seeing my pictures now, I think a lot has improved since photography 1. There are also 2, but then he become only 1. I don't know what happened. Then I got good feedback still on my grades, and it is just amazing to learn through mistakes and not repeat them. Overall improve on what I showed for photography 1. Photography is just trial and error for some reasons because you can take a lot of pictures and end up with only 10 usable ones. 10 out of 100, that's good enough, and maybe someday I'll be able to take a picture every time and it would look good. So that's what I'm hoping for photography. I also got to share a lot during the first parts of photography because the professor takes the time to say feedbacks on every student. It is refreshing indeed, and I also learned a lot about the technicalities of photography, but also on how a good photographer sees pictures. they can see this shot is wrong just by taking a glance at it. It was so amazing. My highlight for this this photography 2 course, was my finals, because not only I had good grades for that, and the feedback, it was really wholesome as well. I think it mattered more to me that was high grades, because as I said before, the photography 1 finals was very low. So looking back at the progress I made, I think specificity is really good for photography and to other subjects as well, because it teaches you discipline and just, focus on subjects that really matter on the plate. Most of us will have a hard time adjusting our sleeping schedule. I feel like I'm going to struggle in plate making. I mostly conceptualize for 3 days, just absorbing the material and understanding the instructions, taking a step back to my studies if it really looks good. Most of us are probably going to take public transportation. How are we going to take all of our art materials to school? I also struggle a lot with making friends. I haven't talked to different people for about 2 years, and that is like 2 years of my academic life that I haven't been able to really talk to other students as well. I talk to some, but that's just online, right? It's different in real life. I'm thinking, am I going to be more awkward in 3rd year? We're going to have thesis. I'm just really, really scared for presenting things. I'm not even sure if I'm good at it. So yeah, I'm also afraid that when it's face-to-face classes, I am not going to be able to maintain good grades. We all know that still art is subjective, but still art has some technicalities in which that is what I'm trying to learn. I'm just afraid that I won't be good enough, like physically, rather than I was in virtual mode. And also just like the feasibility of it all. How do we go to classrooms, and can we take lunch breaks outside the campus? In 3rd year, we're going to do a lot more animations, video materials, and 3D. I'm also afraid that are my video editings on par? I've been on this YouTube channel for a year. I've been thinking if I really improve, if I face to face. My YouTube channel is going to be dormant. For the last time, Ate Aliah, congrats for graduating. If you have one sentence to say to cfad students, may it be for 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, or 4th year, what would it be? I could tell you about my 2nd year experiences here sitting, but I suppose I could try to change something. Maybe I'll just stand. Let me drink the tea or the water.